things about trading Forex is that you don't actually know exactly which trade is going to be a crazy winner or just another loss.
What's up, everybody? We are currently live.
We'll take away the weekly.
Trace back down to what we've got against that price is going to be bullish.
Point sort of chasing the market. I was more than happy to stay flat.
Hello everyone.
What's a kangaroo toe?
Always recommend trading on the 5 minute.
Some of these exotic pairs in pretty steady uptrend, making these higher highs and higher.
Mostly trend following.
The stimulus in a certain way.
Hey guys, welcome back to the stream with A1 Trading. I'm Niamh Forex and I'm usually here every Tuesday. So today is 6th of July 2021, so just after Independence Day, so happy Independence Day for you guys in the US. Hey guys, I'll give you guys a few minutes just to come through. Check my little setup as well, that's fine. So yeah, I mean today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something a little bit different. So instead of just sort of focusing on the charts itself, I'm going to go into a little bit of a few tips from myself with me being a trader and what I get up to day to day. So yeah, if you've got any questions, just feel free to let me know. Weather in the UK is shocking as well as per, so not really got up to much either. But obviously I've still got my full-time job, haven't I, along with trading, so it gets a little bit hard sometimes, but you've got to keep going. So what I'll do is I won't waste any more time and I'll just get into what I've been watching for today. So we've got GU. So this was one of the pairs that were on my watch list today. And I was looking to take this long biased because it was in the buy zone. I was looking for an opportunity to go long. But one thing that I noticed about the market this morning, it was very, very volatile at the start of the day. So a lot of the Asian ranges that I've marked up for today, as you can see. So on GU, USD/JPY, you've got EG there, Euro JPY, GJ, Euro CAD, GCHF, GU, and again, obviously they're the only pairs that I've had. So I think I had about 6 pairs, was it? 7 pairs today on my watch list. So it wasn't too big, wasn't too small. It's quite medium. Just going off the average what I usually have on my watch list day to day. So the one thing that concerned me was how big the Asian range was at the start of the day on the majority of these pairs. So obviously the Asian range for me, this runs from 10 p.m. GMT to 6 a.m. GMT. And I look for breakouts out of this region for price to sort of build a little bit more volume and liquidity for me to sort of want to go ahead and trade that pair. So what I've done is I've marked up this Asian range and I've took into consideration the average daily range as well. So from the highest point to the lowest point of day, which is an average across 5 trading days. So I've took that into account and thought, well, there's a lot of movement in the Asian range already today. So there's not much that it could have moved anymore. So ADR's blown out. So for that to go any higher, and with the liquid 50 already rising there, there's not much of an opportunity for me to come long here. So if anything, I would have been looking at any sort of counter trend trade. So there isn't divergence because this high on the TDI back on the 2nd of July is the exact same as the one that peaked this morning at half 4 GMT. So there's no bearish divergence that sort of qualifies for me to do a counter trend trade with this. And if I was sort of counter trended, I'd be looking at entering off this candle. But again, it's the largest candle of the day, so it is quite overextended there. And then if you take into account the risk reward to ADR, it's rubbish. There's not even 2R to that. So it was pretty much the same across the majority of the pairs. Like there's no entry signal at all that fits my system. It's just absolutely nothing. And I think the market's been like that for quite a while now. I think it's been like this for a good week. Just quickly checking up on the comments here. Do you trade VIX 75? I don't trade that. Okay. And then we've got Megan tuning in as well. Shout out to Megan. So, again, same with quite a lot of pairs today. It's just nothing that sort of fitted my system. I thought the movement was a bit off as well, with everything sort of majority of the pairs moving a lot in the Asian range. There's not much movement for the rest of the day. So I was happy to stay flat again. I think that's my motto. But I'm happy that it is my motto because I'm not sort of rushing into trades. I'm not risking capital that I've worked hard for and that I've waited patiently for to take advantage of these high probable setups. So I'm I'm fine with days like this. I've got the rest of the quarter, the rest of the year, the rest of my trading career to build profits. So there's no rush with anything. If you rush it, that's when you start sort of going through bad habits with your trading, and that's when you start actually realizing that you need to sort of take a step back. You need to go back to the trading desk, and you need to come up with a better plan, or you need to become more disciplined. I've been there. I've been in that sort of circle, and I think a lot of traders go through that as well. They sort of try and fast track the learning, the education, and everything with trading, and it isn't like that. Like, you've got to take your time. Market moves daily as well, and especially depending on what time frame you're trading as well. If you're trading on the 1 hour or the 4 hour, you're taking trades that could potentially carry on for days and days. So you need to give yourself time and patience, especially within this industry. If you don't give yourself that, then you're not going to succeed. And it's as simple as that. But there's not much for me to go through in terms of charts today, because like I said, I've not really been involved. I've seen what could potentially qualify this morning, and I just didn't think it was worth it. Even looking on the fundamental sides of things as well. So taking into account any news that we're going to drop today. I had some early Aussie dollar news, some high impact news there. And then we also had some euro news at 10 o'clock this morning, retail sales. I don't think it took a massive toll on the market or these pairs, as I did check before. But maybe it sort of picked up throughout the rest of the day, because EuroCAD came a lot higher today. GCHF coming lower, and that was literally went from ADR to ADR. Nothing fitted my entry signal there. So yeah, what I'm going to do is, guys, I'm not going to go into much about the charts themselves, because I'll be just repeating myself on every single pair that I've got, because it's not been a great day, unfortunately. And I didn't really want to come to the stream and not having anything to sort of talk about. So let me just check the comments. Let's see what you guys are saying. Views on gold. Before I move on, I'll have a quick look on gold. Let's see what gold's been saying recently. Okay, so bear with me, guys. Just got to switch my screens over. So let's go to gold. Okay. Gold itself absolutely ripped today. Brilliant. Was anybody in gold in the comments? Anybody get involved with this? Does anyone have any longs? Any reason behind it? No. So this is the little indicator that I've been backtesting, and I am still backtesting. This will probably change because I've not found a huge amount of success with it. But again, with trading, it's about finding what sort of suits you. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I can see from the start of the day, even out of the Asian range there, it's just held the 9 EMA nicely, and it's just come higher. Don't know whether that's some sort of fundamental aspect why it's come higher, but it has. So brilliant. Just sort of looking at the bigger picture. So gold has been pretty bullish for over a week now. I mean, if you could have got an entry signal back on the 30th of June and held it till now, that's a big swing trade. That's brilliant. But gold itself, for me, there'd be no sort of entry signal. There's nothing to sort of for me to enter off. There's no key levels. There's no major pullback and then a big breakout. It does pull back a little bit around the 9 EMA. Doesn't come back to the 21 for a valid entry signal, and the volume as well. You've got the sellers increase in there, and then you've got the crossover as well of the of the sellers line there. So I wouldn't be sort of looking to take that long just based off that. But in terms of technical analysis, and you're sort of looking at how the trade has gone, and you're sort of following the trend and identifying that it has come higher for quite a number of days, then yeah, maybe you can sort of look at taking this higher. Like, yeah, you've got a little bit of a key level here. So maybe people's thoughts were to sort of, this isn't my sort of system at all, so this isn't something that I'd sort of trade off, but this is where I'd sort of think where people might have got the longs from today. Probably this level, probably seeing price break this level and come higher. Probably put the stop to, my bad guys. Probably put the stop to here, low of day, and then got a decent amount of risk reward out of that. Maybe that's where they were going with it, but that isn't the way I trade, and I don't really count on support and resistance that much to determine a trade for me. And it could have gone lower at this level. It could have come lower after this sort of bullish momentum. But then long term, you can see that it's generated this bullish divergence. So price is coming lower. However, the indicator trend is coming higher. So maybe that was sort of added confluence that this was going to come higher at this key level down here. But yeah, I'm not going to focus too much on gold because I've not been watching it. It isn't something that I'm extremely confident with at the moment. It is something that I'm still back testing. So I will leave that one at that. That would be my thought process around gold, and just sort of going off what I already know about technicals and whatnot. Want a simple strategy with plus 70% win rate. Got to do the work, buddy. You got to work for the 70% win rate. I know I did. Okay. So, I mean, has anybody got any more questions on gold before I move on? Cool. Right. Just going to stop sharing my screen. And I'm just going to go into a little bit about me as a trader, what I get up to day, and just some tips and what I've learned throughout my journey. So just got a little notepad here. So I've just wrote down here tips for traders. So day-to-day routine is quite important. So it's vital for you to have a daily routine. And it sounds so simple, me saying this, but having a daily routine, being able to sort of give yourself that resilience to stick to a plan and be able to come back to it day to day and still do all the things that you need to do mentally, physically. However, what that does is it also gives you free time. So if you complete all the tasks that you need to do day to day, and then by 2-3 p.m. in the afternoon, you've done everything you need to do, you've ticked all your boxes, it gives you that free time to sort of either put more research into trading, if it's giving yourself some downtime, seeing family members, friends, loved ones, whatever it is. It's just important for you to have a plan and wake up every morning and think, what am I going to do today? What is it that I can do to make my life better or reach my goals a little bit sooner? What is it that I can do today to change who I am or what I do day to day? So having that routine in place, so even if it's waking up every morning, going for a run, going for a jog, coming back home, going to work, whatever it may be, even a hobby, trying to fit a hobby in day to day, whatever it may be, just make sure that you've got some sort of plan. I'd say plan your day with purpose, have a reason to wake up in the morning. And yeah, and just sort of find your purpose, find something that sort of drives you every day, gives you motivation, gives you confidence, and go from there. If you need help with a day-to-day routine, just get in touch. Be more than happy to give you some pointers on that as well. So things that you can include in your day-to-day routine can be things like meditating. So to be quite honest with you, meditating isn't a big thing with me. I want it to be, and it's something that I'm sort of developing and progressing with, but I'm not overly confident with it, and I feel like I could be better at it. And I have improved. So I do about 5 to 10 minutes every other day. I used to try and do it every day, and it got a little bit too sort of intense. I was forcing myself to meditate instead of wanting to. So I sort of took out that element of the forcefulness, and I do it now to sort of relax and when I want to. So I do it around me. And that's another point as well, keeping a flexible routine. So be flexible with it. If you need to change your routine, if it's not suiting you or you're working yourself too hard to the bone, you need some rest, take a few itineraries out of there or mix and match it. Be flexible with it. Do what suits you best. And I think meditating as well, it's also great to do if you want to get in the right mindset, pre-market analysis. So if you're sort of waking up in the morning, getting ready, it's really important for you to sort of get in the right mindset, make sure that you're still generating those good habits and you're sort of eliminating those bad habits as well. So just make sure you're in the right mindset. And I found just giving yourself 5 minutes of just deep breathing can sort of eliminate that worry or anxiousness of coming to the markets and thinking, oh God, I need to trade today. You don't need to trade. The market will tell you when you need to trade. So just remind yourself of that when you're meditating or you're giving yourself some positive affirmations in the morning. Just remind yourself how hard you've been working. And if the market rewards you on that day, brilliant. If it doesn't, then that's fine. There's always tomorrow. So I've just got a question here as well. Megan has stated, advice on starting to trade gold. So I'd probably say with gold, stick with a simple indicator. So maybe if it's like the 9 EMA, sort of trading off those like breakouts or key levels. That's sort of the basics that I'd start with. How do you balance trading and working and personal life? Oh, it's a juggle. It is a juggle. So trading is, I've got 5-6 hours max. That's my sort of trading hours daily. Working is 8 hours. So I do have to sort of cross path. Well, the trading and the work life do sort of cross paths a lot of the time. Monday to Friday, especially with me working 9-5 as well, so it does clash. And personal life, after 5 o'clock, and that'll be on the weekends as well for me. So personal life, I just like sort of spending time with family, friends, catching up, research. I love reading books as well, and also day to day watching YouTube, Netflix, documentaries, absolutely everything. And you find yourself as well when you've got something to work for. So for myself, because I work so hard to reach my end goal of being a trader, you find yourself bringing all of these things together. So even in your personal life, you'll start watching trading videos, or you'll start finding other ways or different income streams that you could potentially take on after you've sort of conquered one element. So say I get to a point where I'm happy with how I'm trading and I'm happy with the capital that I've built with trading, I could go on and move on to property, real estate, e-commerce, anything like that. So yeah, I think it's important to balance all of them, and it's important to keep them separate. But then sometimes you can't help but bring them, all three of them, together sometimes. So yeah, it's really important, obviously, to keep them separate and balanced. But then they also do sort of pull together as a trio sometimes. And you do think, and you do actually think, well, for me, trading is what I live and breathe now. So. And then we've got Denise there as well. She was just saying that she meditates as well. Brilliant. And then we've got another question here from Megan. So how do you stop comparing yourself to other traders? It's something I struggle with and it gets me down. So everybody's journey is different. Everybody's strategy is different. Everybody's success is different. So when you see somebody on Instagram winning, but you don't see the losing aspects of them, it could potentially be that they're losing more than they win, and they're only showing you the positives. So to you, they make you look like that they're earning a lot of money and there's a lot of returns there. I mean, a lot of the time, you can tell, I think, especially when you've been in the industry for quite a while, you can tell which sort of Instagram/social media accounts are true profitable traders and the ones that aren't, and the ones that are a posy, the ones that are marketers, and the ones that sort of give the trading industry a bad name. So don't compare yourself to how you are now and where you are now. Like I said, your journey is going to be a lot different than somebody else. Megan, I know your journey is going to be, our journey is quite similar, but yours will still be a lot different to mine. There's different aspects and avenues of everyone's journey. So to stop comparing yourself, I think it's partially good to compare yourself, because it sort of gives you motivation, especially if you're following motivational people. You sort of compare yourself and say, wow, how can I sort of fit in that itinerary of, or that bracket of success? What can I do to reach my end goal just like they did? So sometimes it can be good to compare yourself, but not compare yourself in a negative way to a point where it gets you down, like you were saying there. So always compare in a positive manner. Don't ever compare yourself in a negative one. So just because you see somebody posting profits doesn't mean that they'd be profiting that day to day, in and out, 100%, 100% returns day to day. Like it isn't feasible. People are going to lose. People are going to struggle, but people don't like to show the struggle. Everybody knows how social media masks that and how good it is at doing that. So yeah, I'd say only compare positively if you're wanting to motivate yourself. Don't sit there and get caught up on what any other or anybody else is doing. When it's all said and done, when you've made your money, do you really think that you're going to be worrying about what you thought about that person 5 years ago. Probably not. So sorry about the background there as well. So yeah. And I'm just going to go back to a few notes that I've got. So yeah, another thing about a routine as well. So something that I noted down when I was thinking about this was, don't make it too drastic or tough initially. So start small and add to your routine as you go along. So start small with little aspects of that. So if it's get up in the morning, do 10 squats and then build that. Okay, so tomorrow I'm going to do 10 sit-ups along with that as well. So start small and then you'll gradually build yourself a great routine. And it's like a systematic approach to your day-to-day life. So yeah, I think one thing that I've noticed, as soon as you build some sort of as soon as you go through backtesting and you look at probability so much, you go through life doing that exact same thing. So probability of, oh God, I don't know, just any bet, like it just goes through my mind all the time. The probability of me throwing something in a bin from 5 meters away, like it's just, there's just risk reward, like you just constantly think about that now. So when you're building your routine, you think about something that could potentially build yourself success day to day, and if you're compounding that and you're doing that day on day, week on week, month on month, year on year, you're going to get amazing successful returns. But you just need to give yourself the input and the motivation to do that, and it will come. But you just need to find a niche that works for you. And then also a big one that I've learned from Austin Silver a lot is treating your trading journey as a business. So a lot of people that I've seen on social media, they don't take it as seriously as you'd think. And what I mean by that is they'd risk 3 to 4% of their account for a trade. And if it goes their way, absolutely brilliant. However, if it doesn't and they have a losing streak, that would be minus 12% of profits. So, sorry, minus 12% of losses. So I think of it as, is it worth sort of being so retail about it? Is the best way I can describe it. You've got to think and work as a prop firm. Think about risk management. Think about professionalizing trading. Like, you're wanting to build an empire, you're wanting to build success from trading, you're wanting to build an income from that. Like, when you go to work, are you unprofessional in work? Do you just do whatever you wish in work? I mean, I wish I could do that, but I can't. Like, professionalism is key for you to succeed. You've got to take this game seriously. It's not just a get rich quick scheme. It's a roller coaster journey, and that's the only thing that I can sort of describe it as. And also, just a big one for me was being open-minded. So I know a lot of closed-minded traders and a lot of hate. I've had a lot of hate off traders where they've said, oh, well, your strategy is shocking. I've never seen anything like it in my life. And I've got stats there to prove that it works, that it's profitable, that I've got 65 to 70% of back testing over 20 pairs. So for you to try and sit there and say that it doesn't work just because you're so closed-minded and you're not open to other opportunities and other indicators that you don't know about, because you're so fixed on one sort of aspect or one avenue of trading, then I think it's really sort of closed-minded for people to sort of come at other people with sort of negativity, especially about a strategy that they've been building for a long period of time. So it's just also being mindful, being positive, and being sort of motivating for other traders. and their ways of trading. So even if they come to you and ask you for advice, just give them as much advice as you can, because it will come back to you. I think ignoring people and shutting people out that need help, it'll sort of bring that negative energy on you. So when you need help, they'll like possibly it wouldn't sort of work out for you if you've not sort of given that if you're not giving that helping hand initially to other people, or people that have sort of reached out for you to help for help, and then you end up sort of dismissing them as a person, and then they go on and be a successful trader. And then when you go to ask for them for help, you'd think, well, why would I help you if I asked you for help quite a few years back and I got no response from you? So it's sort of respecting everybody, and it's taking into consideration everybody's feelings as well. So be mindful of them, and also just be open to what they have to say. So even if you don't agree with it, it's always good to have a conversation with somebody and be able to learn and adapt and look at other people's systems and strategies, and even learn yourself. Even if it doesn't suit you or you're not a fan of that strategy, at least you can sit there and say, wow, I'm happy that I don't trade that way. Look at it as a positive aspect that you're not trading if you don't feel like it'll benefit you. Don't always be caught up on the negative. So make sure that you're trying absolutely everything with your system and make sure that it suits you. Even if it takes like connecting with other traders for advice or indicators about certain aspects of trading. People learn from people. So we're a massive community. Like, we're all in this together. Why doesn't everybody help each other get to their end goal? And then obviously I've gone and talked about routine and whatnot, which is good. And also having a long-term and a short-term plan. I hear a lot of people ask me and tell me about, oh my God, yay, I finally got myself a long-term plan, but where do I start? And I always say, what about a short-term plan? Like, why does nobody take into consideration a short-term plan as well? So your long-term goals are sort of stimulated from the short term. So you need small goals to compound and generate into these larger goals. So they're vital for you to reach that end goal. So for instance, say you had monthly, quarterly, yearly targets, daily targets. So anything like that, start small with, because over a long period of time, it will pay off. And like I said before, trading is a long game. This isn't something that I'm wanting to master within the next 2 years. This is something that I want to sort of progress and excel in over the next 10, 15, 20 years, 30 years. I mean, what age do you even stop trading? So yeah, having a short-term plan and a long-term plan, I think both of them work positively together. I think having one or the other is great, but then having two of them together, having the long-term and the short-term plan together, I think it'll just sort of keep coming in waves. So you'll accomplish your short-term plans. They'll excel into the long-term plans. You'll complete the long-term plans. By then, you're already generating new short-term plans that'll sort of feed off a new long-term plan. So just keep going. It'll just sort of recycle through that process if you keep continuing and sort of building your goals and just be positive. Any more questions, guys? Thanks, Julie. Appreciate that. Okay, so one as well that I want to touch on, it's really, really easy. You've all probably heard about it. It's just diet, exercise. Yeah, diet and exercise is a really, really big one. So it is hard for a lot of people, especially if you're quite busy with me, like me. If you're full-time, you're trading, you've also got your personal life for you to sort of relax, and you need to sort of balance some sort of exercise as well. So I'm office based, and that's with trading and my job. So a lot of the time I'm sat down. So for me to sit down day to day throughout a full 8-hour shift and then also come home and sit at home all day, I think I'd turn into some sort of couch potato. So being able to give yourself, even if it's half an hour max, a walk, just stretch your legs, do something. It would be good, especially because those traders are always sort of office based, sat down. I have a stand-up desk upstairs, so hopefully when I've got my ring light, I'll be able to use that upstairs because my lighting's shocking. We'll be able to actually look at my trading desk and see what sort of setup I've got up there. But yeah, it's a stand-up desk as well, so you can sort of adjust it. And I really recommend those desks, especially if you want to sort of conflict between standing up and sitting down, just to give yourself that balance as well. And it is a lot better for your legs and obviously your fitness and your well-being going forward. So yeah, the diet and exercise is really, really important. And to be quite honest with you, my diet was terrible. I used to eat really bad, takeaways all the time. But one thing that I've noticed especially is sort of the energy levels and the motivation that I've got is from eating a lot more fruit and veg, having a bit of more of a balanced diet. And I'm not saying cut everything out, treat yourself, that's absolutely fine. But just having a balanced diet, having that nutrients that your brain needs, give you that brain power, even if it's researching what sort of foods suit well. So if it's fish, cod liver oil, I absolutely love taking those. Vitamin C, any vitamins that you feel like you may be lacking, and especially sleep as well. I know a lot of traders, especially myself, I've been up late at night back testing, wanting to get to a certain time or a target or complete my spreadsheets, but when you're done, your brain will tell you that you're done and you wouldn't be able to sort of carry on. And if you've back tested as much as me, you'll know exactly how you feel. So it's really important for you to take some time out, get some sleep, come back the next day. Like I said, there's always tomorrow. So don't get caught up on that you need to finish everything now. Listen to what your body's telling you, mind, body, and spirit. And yeah, just make sure that you're getting enough sleep and make sure that you're sort of thinking about yourself and your well-being, because it's really important, because you can be an amazing, successful trader, make so much money, and then at the end of it, you'd be like, wow, I have all this money. I have no structure, no routine, no balanced diet, no yoga, no motivation. And people getting to that point won't go very far without all of these factors in place. So it's important for you to sort of take on what I've said and take it on board, because it's only within the last year I've sort of made changes to my routine and my life and my diet, and it's impacted me massively. So I can't imagine what 5, 10, 15, 20 years can do for me. So I'd really recommend sort of even minor changes to your day-to-day if you don't feel like the routine isn't something that you're wanting. It's incredible what strictly drinking water a day can do. Just sort of eliminating all those toxins from your body. It's just great. And then one thing that I'd recommend as well, just after your trading session, is yoga. Just sort of giving yourself a little stretch, even if it's 5-10 minutes. Just stretching the muscles. It really helps, especially if you've been sat down again, but very office based. So I'd recommend yoga, and you can go on different types on YouTube. There's one that I follow. Her name's Adrian, and she's absolutely incredible. I think she's probably my best sort of yoga instructor that I've seen on YouTube and when I've gone for classes. But she specializes in different sort of aspects of yoga. So depending on your role as well. So say if you've got construction workers in the family and they struggle with back issues as well, you can go ahead and give them guys some motivation as well to get into yoga. And it's really, really helpful just to sort of keep the body moving, especially if you're sort of being quite still day to day with being a trader, being sat down all the time. So yeah, it's just really important to keep yourself going, keep yourself active, keep yourself motivated. It's easy for me to say this, but hopefully if you get this routine in place, all of this will sort of string together at one point and it'll all come together, and then you'll realize that it's all come together and you're like, wow, I've done it. And then the hard part is putting it all together and actually following through with all that. So in terms of motivation, I think I've got a lot of motivation and I love motivating people. I like making other people feel good. It makes me feel like I've accomplished something as a person. So I like reading, and it's only since the past year, since I've got into trading, I've sort of had a liking for reading. I didn't really bother with it, didn't think it was something that I was into. But when you find a hobby or something that you enjoy, you don't mind reading, you don't mind researching. But then another thing that I've found, so with trading books, that is my sort of avenue. That's something that I started with. And then I moved from the trading books onto autobiographies, and that was of sort of successful people. So Richard Branson being one of them. I've read Sir Alex Ferguson's book. I don't know whether you've heard of him. He's Manchester United's manager, the best manager in the world of English football. And I think the Sir Alex one was my best one because it's an inspiring documentary and he tells you to sort of keep going. No matter how hard you try, just keep going. And no matter what, it really did show, like, whatever boundaries sort of came his way, he was able to sort of overcome them and achieve more. So I think reading autobiographies and going off other people's life experiences, you can sort of relate in a way where people felt sort of that they wanted to give up, or that they felt like they were putting 100% into a hobby or a dream, and nothing was sort of becoming of that. And then after that sort of dry spell, everything sort of started going their way. So I've learned from that. And all of these sort of emotions and all these doubts that you feel in your head about yourself and your trading career, it's all to come. It's all emotion. That's all it is. Don't let it sort of stray you from your end goal. You're going to have days where you feel down, and it's more than normal for you to sort of pick yourself up and carry on. But the real traders do shine, especially because you do realize that they're the ones that sort of pull themselves out the mud, and they're the ones that are able to sort of build themselves that legacy and empire no matter what life throws at them. And it's important that everybody knows that this journey isn't something that is doable overnight. This is real. So, I mean, I've gone through there quite a bit, and just a few books that I've read: Trading in the Zone, Real Market Wizards, and Rich Dad Poor Dad. So there's not a fair lot of trading books that I've read at the moment, and a lot of them being sort of autobiographies or more mindfulness books. I do like audibles as well, so I do listen to audibles, especially with traders, more so than trading books, just because I like to sort of listen as sort of like a podcast. I feel like I'm sort of more engaging that way. But has anybody got any questions with what I've got to say, or anybody got any questions about any routine that they've got? But yeah, I've just gone through there a few little tips with me and from myself. But yeah, guys, if you've got any comments, just feel free to leave them, and I'll be checking them up anyway, just to see if I can answer any questions. Feel free to get in touch via Twitter and Instagram. So it's at Niamh Forex below. And Jayesh asked about trading on news. I don't trade fundamentally. I use fundamentals as part of added confluence, but that's about it. But yeah, I'm sort of wrapping up now anyway, guys. So I mean, thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate that. If you feel like whatever I've said is sort of been meaningful for you guys, feel free to leave it a like. Hit the notification bell for next week as well, and just give me a follow. And if you've got any sort of queries or questions, give me a shout on Instagram or Twitter. Well, thank you so much for your time. Take care.
Hey guys, thanks for watching today's show. I hope you enjoyed it. And before you go, make sure to check out our guest today and also subscribe to the A1 Trading YouTube channel if you have not already. Risk Calculator is a risk management tool built specifically for MetaTrader 4 and MetaTrader 5 to help you position size properly. Their easy to use software will allow you to enter and exit positions with lot sizes that are calculated for you, suited to your risk management settings that you allow for the tool. This is a big thing because a lot of us struggle with over leveraging or accidentally taking a position size too big, and Risk Calculator is there to help. Like I said, with the click of a few buttons, you're able to set your trade and the lot size will automatically be calculated for you so that it suits your risk management plan. In addition to actually setting your trades with the proper lot size, it also allows you to manage your trades as they're going along. Things like trailing stops, moving stops to break even, or even partial take profits are all tools or features available with the Risk Calculator functions that are available on MetaTrader 4 and MetaTrader 5. If you're interested in checking out Risk Calculator, there's a link down below in the description. And if you use that link, it does help to support what we do here on the channel, which is provide free trading content, again, by the thanks to the help of our sponsors. So thanks so much for watching today. Again, make sure to subscribe to us here on YouTube if you haven't already, and we'll see you back in the next one.